Hi, my name's Craig, and I will be your instructor for the next 10 weeks in this class that we call Business Ethics. I want to remind you that this is a 15-week class that's being condensed into 10 weeks so that we can accomplish it throughout the summer. So it will take a little bit of extra effort. And also remember that it is a 200 level course. It is not a 100 level course. Therefore, the writing assignments and some of the work that we'll be doing may be a little bit more difficult and demanding than what you might see if you were taking a 100 level course. With that in mind, I'd like to talk about some of the things regarding this class, what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be seeing, and what's going to be happening over the next 10 weeks. So as a result of this is what you see as the very first page when you log in. And obviously the video that you're going to be viewing is actually going to be put right here. The first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the textbook. You can click this link right here. It won't let me because of the way it's set up with the screencast, but there's a link. If you click on this purchase textbook here, it will automatically take you to the publisher's website, and you can buy the book and all the accesses for $49.95, which may be a little bit cheaper than what you could get it online. The question is, do we need the book? Yeah, you will not pass this course without it. So as a result of that, I highly recommend that you get it. And I'm excited to say that I'm glad I can get it and have it done for under $50 for a class. Not too bad of a job in today's society. Also, you may be watching this video, but understand that if you do not participate in any way in either one of the discussion threads this week, by 6 o'clock on Monday, June the 1st, you will automatically be dropped from this class. Okay? Not my rules, the rules that everybody else makes. I just follow them. So as a result of that, make sure that you keep that in mind. So D2L is what we're going to be using. If you haven't taken the online D2L class, I highly recommend that you do it, and I highly recommend that you do it extremely quickly. Okay? This is a short week. We're only having 5 days of class instead of 6 or 7 days of class. And so as a result of that, you need to make sure that you stay ahead of the game. Okay, so there's certain things that we're going to look at. One of the things that we're going to look at, if you go up here to progress and click on progress, well, you're going to see a little bit different than I am. So anyway, in progress, you're going to find your grade book. In your grade book, you'll have the place for every single grade that you're going to have throughout the entire semester. I keep my grade books up to date. I update them weekly so that at the end of every week, you'll know exactly where you stand in the class, and you'll know exactly what your grade is for the class up to that point. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked is there extra credit? The answer to that is no. The only people who want extra credit really are the ones who don't need it because they did everything. The second thing is, how can I give extra credit to somebody who hasn't even completed the credit first? So as a result of that, you're not going to get the extra credit done if you're not going to put forth the effort to do what's required of you to begin with. Okay, so a couple things I want to do. I want to go over a couple things and look at them real carefully. The biggest thing to note is in this one here, we have the assignments. So if you click on assignments, it's going to take you to a similar type thing. This is a little bit different because I'm the teacher, but it's going to list every assignment. It's going to list when it's due. Here's the due date. So it's going to tell you it's due at 11:59 on Sunday, June the 7th, so on and so forth. So we have a current issues paper. We have 4 short writing assignment or essays, and then reading journals that are due. Okay, keep in mind, and we'll talk about it in just a minute, but the first week of class, so starting as soon as you see this video, you need to get started, read chapters 1 and 2, and then we'll go from there. The second week of class, we're going to see chapters 3 and 4. Third week, we'll see chapters 6 and 7. And then what you'll see is that we will, from then on out, only cover 1 chapter per week. And I do that on purpose. The reason I do that is because it gives you the opportunity to get all the heavy work done in the front of the class, and then we can skate towards the end of the class. And the last week of class is extremely easy with very few requirements, regulations, and assignments due. So keep that in mind. The other thing we're going to look at is discussions. And here we'll see the discussion. So for week 1, we're going to cover chapters 1 and 2. There's a biographies. Actually, there is no end to this because some people want to go back and want to refer to something maybe a classmate has said when they read it the first time, that kind of thing. So make sure that you are aware of what you need to do here. The second one's called Gray Matters. Notice that it's a must post first class. So this means that in order for you to see any of your classmates post, you have to post. Okay? And don't post a one-liner so that you can go in and see all your classmates' posts and then come back with your big post. If you do that, I will cut your grade in half. Okay? So I'm going to give you that up front. Some people like to do that. They like to read everybody else's posts and then they can go and answer theirs because they don't have to work as hard. If you don't want to work as hard, I'll give you half the credit. Okay, so keep that in mind throughout the semester. So every week except for the final week of the class, there will be 2 discussion threads each week. Okay, and we'll talk about discussions in just a moment. Okay, if we go back up to the top, well, where's the top? Up here. One more thing under the activities is you're going to see quizzes. There's, I believe, 7 or 8 quizzes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 9 quizzes. So the only week we don't is the final week, I believe, of the class. We do not have a quiz. Okay, so there is a quiz due at the end of this week. So keep that in mind. All right. The big stuff that we want to look at, and I want to cover quickly and briefly, is in course materials and content. So if we go to course materials and content, you're going to see table of contents. So if we go to table of contents, here's everything everything to get started. Here's where you can get your textbook, same link as I had on the intro page or the home page. Here's your syllabus. Make sure you read it. Make sure you read it all. It's the Bible of the course. And if you send me an email and say, oh, how do I do this? Or how does this work? I'm going to say, read the syllabus, page 6. That's all I'm going to give you. It's your job to read the syllabus. I took time to write it. You take time to read it. The graded assignment checklist is something that I do so that you know exactly what's due every week and what time it is due. You have an initial post that's due by 11:59 p.m. on, this will be Thursday, the 28th. Normally, it's going to be on Wednesday nights, okay, starting in week 2. But because we didn't start until Tuesday of this week, it's due on Thursday. And then you'll see the chapter quiz is due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, the 30th. Here's what's due on week 2, week 3, week 4, all the way down through week 10. So keep that in mind. That's just one of those things where it helps you to stay intact and make sure that you don't miss anything. Here you're going to see the course schedule. This, once again, is kind of a detailed thing. I put this together so that you can print it out, and it tells you there's no reading journal due in week 1. There are 2 chapters that are required reading. Okay, your first discussion post must be posted by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, May 28th. The discussions will close at 6 p.m. on Saturday this week only. Beginning in week 2 and the remainder of the class, discussions will close at 6 p.m. on Fridays. Okay, and we do that only because we started late this week. Okay, so all the other information you need is going to be in here. You can read it and see it all the way down. Tells you when your assignment's due, your short writing assignment is due, your reading journal's due. Here's the dates that they're due, so the dates are all lined up here. So all the information you need is going to be found right here on this course schedule. This aligns directly with the graded assignment checklist. Okay, here's the online discussion threads. Here's your reading journal guidelines. And here's your information you'll need for your current issues paper. Okay, I give this to you at the beginning of the semester so that if you want to begin to work on it, you can. Okay, it's very specific. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, the one thing I want to talk about that's most important in an online class is, at least my online class, is online discussions. Online discussions are vital because that is the classroom. So we're not all in the classroom at the same time, but I expect everyone to be in the classroom, give equal time. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Your discussions will run from 12:01 a.m. on Monday until 6 p.m. on Friday, except for week 1 this week. Okay, discussion threads will not, make sure you understand that, will not be open on the weekends. Okay, So during the time frame from 12:01 a.m. on Monday to 6 p.m. on Friday, this week it's 12:01 Tuesday to 6 p.m. on Saturday, okay, you must post on at least 3 different days. Okay, make sure you do that. I don't care if you post 42 times in 1 week. If you only post on 2 days, you will not get full credit. Post on 3 different days. A minimum of 4 postings is required in each of the week's discussions, not a total between the two. Each discussion has a minimum of 4 posts. Okay, also keep that in mind. Your first post will be your initial response to the discussion thread topic that I set up. The other 3 or more, depending on how much you want to do, I have a lot of students who will post 12, 14 times a week. And if you want to be that student and do that, that's fine. But I require a minimum of 4 posts. You can post 4 times every week on at least 3 different days, and you will get full credit as long as you're giving me content. Nice post, Sally, is not considered a post. Okay? If you're not giving me new information, if you're not demonstrating critical thinking, then it's not a post. Okay? So I'm going to encourage you to do that. Also, not reading a post is like putting your fingers in your ears when someone in class is talking and going la 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 la. So as a result of that, I grade on how many posts you read of your classmates. Okay? So, however, once the discussion threads close on Friday night, you will be able to read responses throughout the weekend. So you can read as many as you need through the weekend. I will grade all discussion threads on either Monday or Tuesday of the following week. Okay? And here's the information you need to know. Every posts are worth 16 out of 20 points. So every post is worth 4 points. Okay, up to 4. Reading is worth 4 out of 20 points. So if you read 20% or less, you get a point. You read 40% or less, you get 2. You read 60% or less, you get 3. So I'm only requiring you read up to 60% of the threads, posts. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind because that's kind of important. I'll work with you. I actually grade pretty easy the first week. I give you lots of space, but I'll tell you what you need to do to improve for the next week. You do it, it's great. If you don't do it, I'm sorry. Okay? Now, reading journals are something that's important as well. And I say that because of this. I do not want an outline. I already read the chapter. Okay? Keep that in mind. Give me an outline, you'll get a half credit. I do not want an outline. I want you to pick out 3 or 4 things that you think are extremely relevant or that were like, wow, I never thought of it like that. Or, wow, that's something that's great. Or, I disagree with the author of this textbook. He is a moron. Okay, I don't care how you want to do it, but give me information and tell me why it's a great point or why you disagree. Okay, I don't want you to say, I disagree with the author. Well, so do I in a lot of cases. Tell me why you disagree with the author. His point's not backed up with enough research. You feel that it's opinionated, et cetera, right? So I'm looking for that with your reading journals. When we go to our discussion threads, you're going to find a discussion thread on weeks, I believe it's weeks 2 through 10, that it's called You Be the Prof. Okay? In there, give me something from your reading journal, post a question. You're going to be the teacher, and you're going to pose a question that the rest of your classmates need to answer. Okay? Or the classmates that respond to that post need to respond to. You create the question, right? You become the teacher. Now, do not post your reading journal in there. Okay? You do it once, I'll tell you to get rid of it, or I'll just delete it and tell you to do it right. Do it twice, I automatically start taking points. Okay? If you don't watch this video, I guess then you're out of luck. So, unless you contact me. So it's very, very important for you to remember that. The guidelines are all here. Everything's there. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm looking forward to a great semester. I hope that you're looking forward to a great semester. And together we can navigate this thing called business ethics. I look forward to seeing you in class.